Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to come and run my mouth and talk about some white people. Baby, they acting a fool. I see you cutting up and acting the fool. Hey, let's go ahead and get into this mess. So y'all know Mr. I'm bringing sexy back, okay? Well, girl, the other day, girl, he ran a stop sign. Girl, blame it on the goose. Got you feeling loose. Blame it on the Trump. Got you in the zone. Blame it on the alcohol. Girl, they say he out there running stop signs in the Hamptons. Justin Timberlake, all right? So Justin Timberlake was arrested. They say he was under the influence, allegedly, of a few cockies. For the girls who don't know what a cocky is, get your head out of the gutter. A cocky is a cocktail. We got that from Marisol, you know, the one who's an alleged alcoholic. We don't know, but Marisol give you this ain't got nothing to do with Marisol, but Marisol, she's the one who came up with the term cocky, and that's short for cocktails. So we don't know how many cocktails he had that night. Um, so he was arrested, and he was released, of course. Now, Mad CEO has come out, and she has some things that she wanted to say. So this is according to TMZ. So Justin Timberlake has a prime opportunity to save lives in the wake of his arrest, but only if he's willing to own up to the alleged DWI, so says Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Stacey D. Stewart, CEO of MAD, tells TMZ that JT is seriously lucky his night out. I can't see this. And Sag Harbor, New York didn't end tragically, with himself or someone else getting hurt. But that being said, she's imploring the singer to use his celebrity to condemn impaired driving. At the moment, it doesn't look like that will happen, not for a while, not until the case is settled. Excuse me. And JT's high-powered lawyer is at least saying that they're ready to fight tooth and nail. JT was cuffed and booked after allegedly rolling through a stop sign following a get-together with pals. Cops claim um, he had bloodshot, glassy eyes, a strong odor of alcohol on his breath, and failed field sobriety test. Let me tell you something. We wasn't there. I wasn't there. We don't know what happened. Girl, they just ain't taking. Girl, I'm gonna say something real ignorant. I'm gonna say it. They just ain't taking y'all white people to jail just because it's fun. Now, girl, if this was a new, okay, now I might be like, girl, was he really drunk? Girl, we know how they do when they pull us over. But girl, for them to put you into the cop car and take you to jail, they just didn't do that just because. Okay, they did it because, girl, you probably did what they said you did. And we saw him. There's a video of him running a stoplight. I mean, a stop sign. Now, I will say, I'm not playing a video because I don't want to get no strike or even take that chance. I will put the link in the description box so you can click on it if you want to watch it. I did not even see the stop sign. So I will say that I could see how, even if someone was sober, how they could possibly pass a stop sign. But on the flip side, if you're paying attention, you know, those stop signs is kind of like I can't explain it. Like when you go into a store and they have like a yellow sign up that lets you know that the floor is wet. It's like one of those. You see them. They're you can see they're like some scattered around sometimes, especially if they're doing like construction. Maybe they'll put like a little sign up, but it's like lower to the ground. It's not up in the sky. So it's a possibility that you could pass it, but if you're paying attention, that's what some people could argue. If you're paying attention, then you will see it. But he did run a stop sign. But again, like I said, girl, they just ain't arresting no rich. Girl, let me tell you something. They just ain't arresting no rich white man and put him in jail because girl, they ain't got nothing else to do. Okay. Um, while Justin's being silent about what happened leading up to the arrest, Stewart says she'll be extremely disappointed if he just gets a slap on the wrist. The Mad Huncho calls JT's massive fame and relevance um, a silver lining in that it gives him a tremendous chance to save lives by educating the public on the dangers of impaired driving. She's also fully aware um, that if he's a first time offender and it wasn't an accident, um, that he'll probably get minimal criminal consequences or get off the hook entirely. Let me just say something. I was reading the comments under the TMZ post, and I get it. We can all be insensitive sometimes, including myself. And sometimes we can put our foot in our mouths. And sometimes we really should think before we speak. And this is including me too, right? But I really thought that the way that some people were in the comment section under this post, especially being insensitive to this situation, I thought was a tad bit disrespectful. I think we all have our opinions, right, wrong, and different. But I think that when you're under this post, this specific post, when you have the president of MAD, what's her name? Stacy, the CEO, I'm sorry, the CEO of MAD, basically coming out and speaking about the dangers of drunk driving, and thank God there was not, an accident besides him just rolling past the stop sign. For y'all to get in the not y'all, but for people to get in the comment section like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. We all make mistakes. Like, girl, you're eventually telling people that have lost loved ones to someone being drunk that, oh, girl, you know what I'm saying? It could have just been a mistake. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I think it would be one thing when it first came out if someone had that idea that, okay, girl, it's a mistake. We all, and I'll just say this, everybody who probably drinks has probably gotten behind the wheel of a car when they know they should not have, right? Um, I'm not gonna say everyone, but I'll say a large percentage of people who have cocktails, they probably have gotten behind the wheel of a car when they know they shouldn't have. And luckily for some of us, we made it home, right, with no accidents or right. But to go under this post when you have people a post about mad and to say those things, I thought was like, girl, like y'all are not y'all, but people are that disconnected from the world or that desensitized where you don't mind getting under a post where it's an interview with the CEO of MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and you're saying, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's not like he KILL ed somebody like what like girl, I'm just like, girl, what is going on? Just all you have to say is, girl, yeah, he shouldn't have been driving. And then whatever offline conversations you want to have those conversations offline. I still believe, even though I do believe that sometimes social media gives people um, the balls to say things that they normally probably wouldn't say in real life. Like, I don't see you sitting in a meeting. I don't see you sitting in a meeting with the CEO of MAD and they're discussing Justin Timberlake and you raise your hand and say, "Girl, it's not that big of a deal." You see what I'm saying? But you'll say it on the internet. I think that you should just say, "Girl, he shouldn't have been drinking and driving." And the truth of the matter is, if we're going to be honest about it, he ran a stop sign. Period. So of course they're going to say he ran the stop sign due to him drinking. It's kind of like Nicki Minaj. Remember when Nicki Minaj got arrested wherever she was at, and someone from her team, either she tried to pull it, or either someone from her camp tried to pull the whole, oh, she was racially profiled. And my thoughts were, yes, there is a chance she could have been racially profiled. Even with Nikki having the pre-rolls on her, she still could have been racially profiled. However, you can't even pull that card right now because you actually have something on you, which are called drugs. Now, we don't call them drugs. We don't really call weed drugs. We call weed weed. Drugs is drugs and weed is weed. Okay? It's like when people, if somebody tries to put weed in the same category as crack, you might be like, hold up, sister. Hold on, sister. Nah, you're not going to put weed in the same category as crack. You know what I'm saying? Crack is whack. I make too much money to do crack. I know that's right. You're gonna be like, hold on, sister. You know what I'm saying? But Nikki, that's where Nikki's team lost me because even if you were racially profiled, girl, at the end of the day, you still had what they would say is drugs on you. Period. Full stop. So even if I was going to say TJ, even if Justin Timberlake wanted to say I actually wasn't drunk. Yes, I had a couple of cocktails, but I was not drunk. It wouldn't matter because you ran the stop sign and they're going to say that you ran the stop sign because you were drunk. You see what I'm saying? Like if he wouldn't have ran the stop sign and he wouldn't have been, because I heard he was swerving too, then he probably could have said, oh no, even though like I've had a few cocktails, I'm actually okay. I'm okay. But girl, that's not the case. You ran the stop sign and they say you were swerving a little bit. I don't know how true that is. And then they're going to say that's because of the alcohol. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Anyways, girl. Like I said, I think we've all, those especially who drink have gotten behind behind the wheel of a car. A lot of us probably have. And thank God we didn't hurt anyone. But I also think in the next breath, girl, you don't need to be under no post trying to sweep this under the rug or making it seem as though it's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Just because he didn't hurt anybody. No, he didn't hurt anybody, thank God. That doesn't mean that you should get under that post saying what you're saying, though, at the same time. Anyways, girl, let's move on. All right, so the next white people we're going to talk about. Brad feathers nest with Inez. Pitt reportedly planning intimate Europe wedding as he longs for a life do-over. So Brad Pitt, girl. Brad Pitt is reportedly ready to take his relationship. This is according to Radar Online. Take his relationship with girlfriend Inez de Ramon to the next level, and sources claim he's planning an intimate Europe wedding. RadarOnline.com has learned. The Oscar-winning actor is said to want a life do-over. Girl, not a life do-over at 60-something. Brad, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere, and girl, Miss Thing, you's a fool if you marry him. I mean, girl, I get it, girl, he fine. But they also say he like to go upside a bitch head too. So I don't know if it's worth it, sister. After a tumultuous split from his ex-wife Angelina Jolie and strained relationships with his 6 children. That's another thing too. But not only are they saying that he is abusive, girl, not only to Angelina, they say he also put his hands on the goddamn children, and they say he's a drunk, girl. And now they're reporting allegedly he's saying he want a life do over. Girl, y'all love to be these niggas, girl, science projects. I don't get it. Girl, y'all love to be a social experiment, girl. No, sister, no. That's why I be saying, girl, it don't matter who you are. It don't matter. You could be poor or rich. One thing about it, 2 things for sure. Girl, men will always have access to Boonchie Cat. It don't matter. It don't matter what the people are saying. It don't matter what the streets are saying. Y'all want to see if it's true. And then y'all find out it's true. Because next, we're going to be hearing how he possibly went upside your head. And you're going to be coming out with your story. And people going to tell you the same thing. People going to be talking about you the same way they're talking about Angelina. Oh, girl, she lying. She just want that man money. That's what they're going to say. Anyways. And girl, why would you want to be with somebody who got all those goddamn children and they don't even want to fool with him? My whole thing is this. Can I say something? Everything that you hear about somebody is not true. It's not. Some stuff do be lies. But why do you want to find out though? It's one thing for you to get with someone and you hear like, oh girl, you know they say he cheap. And you're like, oh girl. You know, it's another thing for you to get with someone when you've heard these stories of abuse and alcoholism. Shout out to the people who suffer from alcoholism, those who have beat the addiction. Shout out to you. But I would not want to enter into a relationship with someone who has been accused of those things. Like, it's one thing for you to get with a nigga and they say he just cheap and don't like to spend no money, right? It's another thing for you to get with somebody when they say, girl, you know they say he beat on women. And you're like, oh, girl, he changed. And then they say, you know, girl, 6 months down the line, girl, your head is getting banged between a washer and a dryer. You heard the story. You heard what they said. And now you ducking and dodging. And now you getting choked out on a plane, allegedly. Now you getting pushed into a wall. Now your kid is getting knocked upside their head too. But you heard it. You heard the stories. Like, why would you want to take a chance like that with somebody? I'm sorry, some stuff I just feel like you shouldn't give people a chance. You just shouldn't. They should not have access to you. Not if they have those type of allegations. I'm sorry. Why would you want to find out if it's true or not? It's just like I was talking about the game. What's her face? Evelyn's daughter. Girl, Evelyn's daughter. Basketball Wives. Girl, the game was convicted of SA. And girl, they say allegedly that Evelyn's daughter is pregnant by the game. Girl, a fool. You waited this long to have a baby with a nigga like that? Girl, what is going on? Anyways, girl. If they get married, honey. Good luck. All I can tell you to do is duck and dodge, baby. Because they say Brad is hell on wheels. Ask them kids. You know, you read the headlines. I'm sure you down. I'm sure you down. I'm sure you got a. I'm sure you got a Google. What are they called when you get alerts when certain names go off? I'm sure you probably got Google alerts whenever something posted by Brad Pitt. Anyways, you know what's going on, Miss Thing. Anyways, girl, listen to this. Teresa Giudice's husband, Vinny Villa, CEO, accused of fraud, owes millions to companies. This is according to Hollywood Unlocked. So Louis Ruelas and Marcello uh, Genovese, CEO of Vinny Viva, Vinny Villa, are reportedly embroiled in allegations of financial misconduct, including millions of dollars owed to employees, companies, vendors, and agencies despite their empty business accounts. Switzerland-based Venivia, I think I'm saying that right, aims to help content creators monetize through live streaming. So is this like a YouTube? Like a YouTube TikTok? Is that what they're doing? Despite Louis' claims of no ties with Marcello, sources indicate that the two shared an office space in Los Angeles. Additionally, an Instagram reel features Louis, it does, endorsing Vinny Villa, hinting at their collaboration. Recently, it was reported that he secured a $1 million loan using his mansion as collateral. Close sources revealed. Now, girls, you know, girls, something going on with that with the money because on the upcoming episode, well, they showed a scene of Teresa and Louis getting into it over the money, their money, Teresa's money. Okay, but I guess their money because they married. What's his is yours, and what's yours is yours. I always remember that, bitch. What's his is yours, and what's yours is yours. Okay. Ow! Anyways, close sources reveal Marcello, is that his name? Marcello reportedly instructed employees that Louis was an investor, mandating a $3,000 check to be written to a fictitious entity name Influencer Nation and another $100,000 for personal use. Used by him and his sons. It emerged that Influencer Nation was non-existent, with no actual investors behind it. Girl, this is a mess. Let me tell y'all something. I'm not going to read through. I'll put the rest of it in the link in the description box. Louis, I don't know if this. Oh, excuse me. Thank you so. I know somebody said bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know if this is true or not, but one thing I have always gotten from Louis is weirdo, sneaky tea. I have this thing. This is just for me. When you can't explain what you do for a living, girl, I start to I don't have to know the ins and outs of your job. But if you just can't say, oh, I work in retail, oh, okay. Oh, I'm a hairstylist, oh, okay. Girl, I work in real estate, oh, okay. Girl. But when you start, I remember Louis trying to explain what he did and it just didn't make sense to me. And I'm like, girl, remember season 10? This is when I first started watching. When I first started watching full seasons of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I still remember season 10 when the producers were asking PK and Dorit, what did PK do for a living? And I thought that was so strange because Dorit is not even new to the show. Dorit been on the show. Now I don't know how many seasons prior to season 10 she had been on the show, but that wasn't her first season on the show. So for the producers to be asking someone who's already been on the show, what does your husband do for work? And y'all can't really like, why are you asking like that's something you would ask a new housewife, a new friend of the show, not someone who's already been a housewife. You trying to figure out what they do second season? And I was like, hold on. And I think they say he was a businessman. When I say that businessman line kills me every time. What do you mean you're a businessman? What does that even mean? What do you do for a living, sir? Are you the CEO of an insurance company? Girl, do you have your own cleaning agency? Do you, girl, sell cars? Or do you own barbershops? Like, girl, do you sell a little dope on the side? Girl, do you sell a little dick? Like, are you a sex worker? Like, girl, what do you do, sister? And when the girls can't explain, listen to me, I'm making sense. When Phaedra and Apollo was down to the show and they couldn't explain what Apollo was doing, Candy had to explain and say that Apollo, what did she say Apollo was doing? Was a repo man. And we were still trying to figure out how's a repo man spending $5,000 to $8,000 at the strip club. Remember when Jen Shaw was on TV? The first season reunion? And she couldn't. I remember reviewing the reunion, and I was like, it's not making no sense. Well, I can't explain to y'all what Jen do for work. Girl, I remember saying that. I don't know what Jen do for work because it came up at the reunion, and I think Heather was trying to explain what Jen actually did, and I was like, this don't make no sense, girl. Like, girl, it shouldn't be that hard to tell somebody what you do for a living. You ain't got to give your position. You ain't got to give, girl, what level you on. But if somebody asks you what you do, you should have just said in simple words. Girl, I'm a YouTuber. That's it. Girl, I'm a hairstylist. I'm an interior designer. Girl, you could own 15 girl interior design firms. Girl, you an interior designer? Okay, she said she an interior designer, girl. Now, girl, then what happens next is like you on these reality shows. What happens is, girl, we're gonna start. Girl, at least I know I am. I'm gonna start counting your money, okay? Because you on these reality shows, and I'm trying to figure out how you got this $17 million house, like Jen Shaw over there with all this designer, dripped in designer, episode after episode. Girl, getting these stores. I knew Jen was a scammer. I knew she had to be doing something that she had no business doing. Because even with Coach Shaw, I was like, hold on. This man is just a football coach. And I read that he was an assistant coach. Girl. And it's not like you a Deion Sanders. No shade. Girl, I'm trying to figure out, how do y'all afford this lifestyle? And you got all these assistants and you are dripped in designer. You go to Las Vegas and they close the store for you, or they open up the store for you. Remember they opened up the store for her and Heather? And I was like, hold up, something ain't right. Girl, your lifestyle is really over the top and it's not adding up to me. And then what we found out, Jen was a scammer, stealing people money. What we found out about Apollo and Phaedra. Sorry, Apollo. What we found out about Apollo, scammer. What we found out about Tom and Erica, what Tom, scammer. Hello. So I'm just saying, girl, when if the math ain't mathing, I don't try to make it math. Okay, I'm not trying to make 1 + 1 = 25. If it don't equal 2, then I got some questions. Okay? And I got some questions for Louis. Cause his 1 + 1, he's trying to tell us that it equals 2, but we know well, we know it ain't equaling 2. No, Louis, your 1 + 1 don't equal 2, baby. Anyways, child. Teresa, you a fool. If this is true, Teresa, you a fool. Teresa is a fool. A fool. And she didn't get no prenup. Just a dummy. I guarantee you Teresa had more money than Louis when they first met. I guarantee you. And she didn't get a prenup. And more than likely, girl, if they get a divorce, girl, you don't think Louis gonna try to take some of that money? Huh? Hmm. You see what happened to Kenya? Kenya had her whole house by herself, and Mark came in trying to take that lady house. Now, how the you try to take a house that didn't even belong to you in the first place? Girl, you weren't even around, girl, when Moore Manor was being built or reconstructed, whatever. Anyways, girl, let's move on. Speaking of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, honey, listen to this tea. Lisa, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Lisa Barlow sued for failing to pay friend back over $400,000 in loans. Girl, what are y'all doing? Girl, I don't know what's going on with these housewives. I was talking to one of my friends. At this point, Bravo needs to start their own news station. Because, girl, every time we look up, girl, it's something going on at Bravo. It's something with some, not even at Bravo, but your employees. Okay? The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Lisa Barlow and her associated companies, including Vita Tequila and Lux Marketing, are being sued for allegedly not repaying over $400,000 in loans. The lawsuit claims that a longtime friend of Lisa's, Bart Carlson, loaned her the money over a decade ago, and despite his request for repayment, he has not received the money back. Lisa told him that she has been unable to pay him back for various reasons. He is now seeking legal assistance to recover the amount owed. Girl, these help us be broke. These help us be broke. Not broke. I mean, because clearly, girl, I guess if somebody let you borrow 400, well, that don't mean nothing. But girl, they ain't got no money. That's what it comes down to. Lisa, because if this is true, why would you not be able to? Why would you be unable to pay him back over some money that he sent that he allegedly let you borrow? What is it, over a decade ago? If y'all over there rolling in the money like that. She denied the allegations in a statement to TMZ. To be very clear, the claim that I owe Bart or his company money is untrue. I pay my bills and obligations, and I always have. I look forward to the truth coming out, and I intend to hold Bart fully accountable for any damages this personal attack may cause me or my businesses. I mean, Lisa could be telling the truth. She could be telling the truth. You never know. You know, these housewives, you just never know with these housewives and they coin, honey. Especially the ones who try to put on stunts and shows. Hello? Them be the main ones my eye be on. All right, y'all. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Oh, I'm not gone. I forgot. Gayle King. One of the main reasons why I was doing in white folks news was because of this person. let me just say something. I have been following Gayle King on Instagram for a very long time. Um, I've always loved her friendship with Oprah. I have loved Oprah forever, even though Oprah done pissed me off a couple of times. And when it comes between her, when it comes to her, Monique, I'm Team Monique. Good, but the thing I'm gonna do, Gayle, I really don't like that. Sometimes people really do disrespect Gayle. Like when Snoop Dogg pulled that stunt and was down to the Instagram calling that lady all types of bitches and talking about how he was gonna come and see her. I was like, girl, that's team too much. Girl, like that's when some cops would have been knocking on your door. Straight up. And whatever would have happened, that's what would have happened. Okay? I don't know if Snoop had a flashback of when he was on the streets, but girl, I'm a rich black woman. You will not talk to me that way. Not that way. And threaten me? Oh, you'll hear this. A bang, 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 matter of facts, okay? But Gayle, this is why I was looking at Gayle sideways. So Gayle King says Justin Timberlake's recent arrest was clearly a mistake. He is not an irresponsible person. I don't know if Gayle took a couple of shots before she walked her ass out on stage, on set, to work. I don't know if Gayle didn't get enough sleep at night. Gayle King recently weighed in on Justin Timberlake, saying that his recent arrest for driving under the influence, DUI, doesn't define his character. She believes that the incident doesn't accurately represent who he is as a person, suggesting that he is a good person who made a mistake. Listen, I do believe that you could be a good person to make a mistake. Now, depending what we're talking about, that what the mistake is, that's to be determined and depending on the conversation, right? Um, while speaking about the incident on Wednesday's episode of CBS Mornings, King said Justin Timberlake is a really, really great guy. Listen, this was clearly a mistake. I bet nobody knows it more than he. Um, Gail also added, "You know what? No, I want to hear. I want y'all to listen to what she had to say. Let's roll. Let's roll the audio so y'all can hear her say it her damn self."
Timberlake is a really, really great guy. Listen, this is clearly a mistake. I bet nobody knows it more than he. A stupid mistake. Exactly. And he knows that. But he's not an irresponsible person. He's not reckless. He's not careless. Clearly, this is not a good thing. He knows that. I love when they stopped Billy Joel and Billy Joel said, wait, not everybody judged at this particular time. But listen, driving drunk, there's never any excuse for that, ever. Yeah. Ever. And it's alleged, right? I mean, and at this point. It's alleged. But based on what the officer saw there, it's not. Justin Timberlake is a...
Girl, let me just say this. This is coming from somebody who likes to have a cocktail. I don't drink as much as I used to. I'm trying to get okay. I'm trying to get skinny. Okay. So I had to cut back on some stuff, and that was one of the things that we had to cut back on. So I love a cocktail, right? And I think that a lot of us who have, and I said this earlier, I think a lot of us who have um, had a cocktail or two or three, there have been a time or two where you have gotten behind the wheel of a car and your ass shouldn't have. It's nothing to brag about. It's it's irresponsible, right? But there have been a time or two, especially in my younger days, where I got behind the wheel of a car and didn't even know how I made it home. Thank God no one was unalived, right? Thank God it hurt anybody, because girl, either I could be, in the ground, somebody else could be in the ground, we all could be in the ground, or I could be in prison, right? So, I get that things happen, but for Gayle King to get her black ass down to that TV show and to act like what he did was not irresponsible, it was irresponsible. No, nobody didn't die. Okay? Nobody got hurt, right? Everybody is cool. Everybody had to get rushed to the hospital. But for you to say that the singer is not irresponsible, while he may not just be this irresponsible person 365 days a year, or as Portia would say, 265 days a year, girl, this was definitely an irresponsible moment. especially for someone at his big ass age, who also, we have to say, is very wealthy. There's no reason why Justin Timberlake could not have a driver, girl, call an Uber Black if it was available. Even if it wasn't available, girl, he has the money to get whatever he needs to for it to happen. The singer is not wait. Gayle also added that the singer is not an irresponsible, reckless, or careless type of person. This actually was a moment of being irresponsible. It was a moment of recklessness and a moment of carelessness. It was. So for her to get on TV and say that, it's kind of like, Gayle, you make it a little hard for people to say that you don't run to the aid of white people, because we have a couple of examples within the last few weeks of you doing the same thing, right? Like, I noticed it. I didn't watch the whole interview. And I think that's why a lot of people are outraged, because they feel like Gayle always caping for white people. But on some real shit, as much as y'all disrespect Gayle, girl, I wouldn't cape for y'all niggas either unless I personally knew you. If we just gonna put it out there. And the same way, I'm gonna go ahead and shake the table a little bit. The same way that some people are outraged at Gayle caping for white people, you were just caping for that little white girl, Caitlin Clark, last week. Angel Reese almost damn near had her back broke on a goddamn basketball court, and y'all didn't come out and say nothing about that. Not y'all, but y'all. You know how many people I saw out there defending Caitlin Clark, but ain't said a damn word about Angel Reese? So while Gayle got some working to do, some work to do too, there are a lot of people out there who got some work to do too. Because Gayle ain't the only one out there caping for white people. Let's just call a thing a thing. Anyways, but I did see the interview with Gayle and Don, the coach. And part of the interview that I saw was Gayle basically saying, yeah, we were rooting for Caitlin. I said, bitch, girl. It doesn't matter if the person was white or black or Hispanic, but we know that it adds another layer to it when you sit across. Like, Gayle really set her black ass in that interview across from another black ass woman and said out of her black ass mouth that she was rooting for this white girl to win the game. Even though, from what I read, Coach Dawn, is someone, I think she's the second black woman to win a championship or to either win a championship at that school. Either way, she's done something that a lot of people have not accomplished. So for Gayle as a black woman to sit across from another black woman and low-key kind of just basically in a way kind of take away what this woman has accomplished because you want to let it be known you was rooting for the white girl, it's kind of like a slap in the face. And it's like, Gayle, girl, sister, girl, what is we doing? I think multiple things can be true at the same time. I think that I see a lot of people disrespect Gayle online. I really do. And I can understand why Gayle would probably not want to girl come out and say nothing, especially, girl, why would Gayle want to come out and defend a group of people who disrespect her all the time? But then on the flip side, it's like, girl, you do have, it appears like you have this pattern where you feel the need to run and defend these people who don't really need defending. Why are you trying to defend Justin Timberlake? The motherfucker was drunk, period. The cops ain't pulled over this rich white man just because they ain't have shit to do. He ran a stop sign. We saw it with our own eyes. They say he was swerving. I didn't see that. He was drunk. He was actually irresponsible. He was actually careless. And he was reckless, period. Girl. But for some reason, you want to get down to, I want to know what the Gayle say if the mad president was in the office, was in the studio. Would you sit there and tell her that shit? Would you tell her, oh girl, he's not an irresponsible person. He's not reckless. He's not careless. Would you say that in front of the CEO of MAD? Or would you have a different language? Or would you watch what you had to say? I just think we have to be careful. Like, Gayle is too old. I think we all still learn. We should still be learning till the day we die, right? But some shit your ass should just know. Gayle is too old and too accomplished and has been in the game for too long not to know how to speak and not to say certain shit. I would not get my ass on TV. And then on top of that, girl, you and Justin Timberlake ain't cool like that. Okay, they might be. Do I think that Gayle King and Justin Timberlake are good Judies and they just sit on the phone and kiki and talk about niggas? No. You might like Justin Timberlake because, girl, he's your industry friend. You might see him once a year at some event. Other than that, girl, it was no need for Gayle to really and truly put her cape on and run to Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake, that motherfucker gonna be okay. He's a rich white man. Justin Timberlake will be just fine. Believe me. He probably ain't going to jail. It probably ain't gonna be on his record. Justin Timberlake will be okay. Again, he's a rich white man in America. Ain't nothing gonna happen to Justin. You don't need to go down there defending Justin. You don't need to defend Caitlyn, but a lot of niggas was. But you know what I'm saying? Anyways, girl, that's all I have to say, girl. I forgot all about Gayle. Girl, you a mess sometimes, quiet as it's kept. You are. When I saw it, I said, girl, what are you talking? Girl, what are you talking about, girl? Girl, you sound dumb. I hate to say that because Gayle is an old woman. Gayle is old enough to be my mama. I don't want to disrespect that lady. But Gayle, you sounded ignorant. You really, really did. And you sounded insensitive. And like I said, girl, don't get into it. We all have learning to do. I can be insensitive sometimes. I can put my foot in my mouth sometimes, right? I can. But I think that when we start having conversations about like drunk driving, girl, you really have to try. Just try. I know we make our jokes sometimes. Oh, girl, when I was 25, girl, I got so drunk. But on some real shit, you have to be careful with the stuff that you say sometimes. You really have to. And I almost think that it's almost I think it's irresponsible for Gayle to get her black ass on TV and act like what Justin Timberlake did was not what it was. Even if it doesn't happen every week, this was that time where you should have been like, girl, it was irresponsible, it was careless, it was reckless. Period. And your ass is too goddamn rich to be drinking and driving. Hire a driver. End the conversation. That's what Gayle should have said. That's what Gayle should have said. Anyways, I'm gone. Girl, y'all pray for me, girl. I'm trying not to text this man. Girl, I'm gonna tell y'all the story. I'm trying not to text this man. But girl, it's been a long time. Okay. Some of y'all know the man I'm talking about. The older man. Girl. Anyways, show. I'm gonna try not to text his ass. I ain't talked to him. Well, he texted me in April, and I didn't respond. I haven't talked to that man yet, and that was April, and it's about to be July. But girl, I'm thinking about texting him. I'm gonna go get in the shower. I'll let y'all know what I did. Okay. And another thing I wanted to add, girl, the most important thing, girl, Justin Timberlake will not run to defend you, Gayle King. We see and we still remember, okay? We still remember how he did Janet Jackson. But that's all right, because that Janet spirit do not play. Ever since he tried to pull that stunning show with Mama Janet, his career ain't never been the same. Girl, sister can't get a hit album to save his life. Girl, that last album he came out with the other day, done came and went. Girl, until you do right by Janet, your life ain't never gonna be the same, nigga. That's exactly what you get. Janet, girl, we got your back, Janet. Ever since he tried to pull that stunt with Janet, honey, girl, it ain't never been right with Justin. Don't get it twisted. I will listen to a Justin Timberlake song here and there. You know, the nigga still got some bops. But the point I'm trying to say is, girl, we don't fool with Justin like that no more. Okay? And I suggest you get with the winning team, girl, because he will not be running to defend you at all. Period. Now I'm gone. Let me go get in this shower. Bye, y'all.